Welcome to the invisible current. Together, we'll learn to understand the currents shaping our world. Most people imagine influence begins on a stage before a large crowd, but it rarely does. It begins in moments like this. One person, one conversation, one idea carried across a wire. Every movement, every business, every family, and every nation was shaped because someone persuaded someone else. The invisible current is in volume, it's trust. People don't simply follow words, they follow character, credibility, and the incentives they believe are worth pursuing. Like driftwood carried by the river, every conversation moves someone in a direction. The question isn't whether you have influence, the question is what current are you creating? Influence becomes real when another person must decide whether to trust you. Words alone are never enough. People study your tone, your motives, your character, and the incentives behind what you're asking them to believe. This is where influence can become service or manipulation. One builds freedom, the other creates dependence. Like driftwood meeting a new current, a single conversation can redirect an entire life. We may not control every voice that reaches us, but we can learn to recognize where it is trying to carry us. The question is, are you earning trust or merely applying pressure? The true measure of influence isn't whether people applaud your words, it's whether those words can change what they do. Somewhere between hearing an idea and taking action, a decision is made. Incentives are weighed, trust is tested, a new direction is chosen. Every contract signed, every article written, every business created, and every movement in history began when someone accepted another person's influence. Like driftwood carried into a new current, one decision often leads to another. The question isn't whether your words have an effect. The question is, what kind of actions are they inspiring? Influence doesn't end when one person changes. That's where it begins. Ideas have a way of traveling farther than the people who first spoke them. A conversation becomes a decision becomes an action becomes a story that reaches countless others. This is why incentives matter so much. The ideas we reward, the voices we trust, and the examples we celebrate quietly shape the direction of an entire culture. Like driftwood carried downstream, influence creates ripples we rarely live long enough to measure. The question isn't whether your influence will spread. It's whether what you're spreading is true, wise, and worthy of being passed on. Influence changes the moment your voice reaches beyond the people you can see. Technology doesn't create influence, it multiplies it. A telephone becomes a radio, a conversation becomes a broadcast. One message now travels farther than its messenger ever could. Every generation invents new ways to amplify ideas, but the invisible current never changes. Truth and deception, wisdom and foolishness are all carried by the same channels. It's like the driftwood carried farther downstream. Every word reaches shores you'll never see. The question isn't how many people hear your voice, it's whether what they're hearing is worth passing on. Every conversation has another side. While one person is trying to persuade, the other is deciding what current to follow. Influence is never a one-way street. We all carry ideas into every conversation, and we all leave carrying something back. This is why independent thinking matters. Every voice has incentives. Every message has a destination. Wisdom begins by asking not only who is speaking, but what current is driving their words. Again, like driftwood meeting another current, our lives are constantly redirected by conversations we almost forget. The question, again, isn't whether you're being influenced, it's whether you recognize the current before it carries you away. We began with one man speaking into a telephone. We end by discovering there was always someone listening. Influence was never a one-way current. Every conversation shapes both people. While one voice is trying to persuade, the other is deciding what to believe, what to reject, and what to carry forward. Every headline, every broadcast, every movement, and every generation begins this way. One person influencing another person until ideas quietly become culture. Like driftwood, again, carried by countless unseen currents, none of us escapes influence. The question isn't whether you're influencing others or being influenced yourself. The question is, what current are you choosing to follow? Thank you for watching. Until next time, keep understanding the current